Good afternoon and welcome to Tea Time with Miss Liz. That's right. Me and Whitney, we've been in the back studio and just having a good old time here. So, Whitney, I will let you know a little bit about Whitney Sweets. This lady is incredible. She reached out to me and wanted to be on Tea Time, and I got to know her a little bit. So, I'm going to give you a little bit on her bio, and then I'm going to give the stage all to you, Whitney. And then we're just going to do some more laughing and giggling and have some more stories and have a good old tea time today.
All right.
Okay, so Whitney Sweets is a poet, artist, and writer of fiction. Her debut novel, In Love, can be found online at your favorite bookstore shopping spot. Her work has been included in A&U Magazine, as well as Mentor Me, Instructions and Advice for Aspiring Writers Anthology. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
She is the winner of the 2014 Judith Eve Gewurtz.
Gewurtz. Like the wine, Gewurtz.
Oh, well, there we go. See, we're having a glass of wine today. Memorial Poet Award. Her poetry is included in another dysfunctional cancer poem anthology, and essays can be read in the Far Villages. Welcome essays for new and beginner poets. She is the creator and editor of the T.R.O.U. Lit Mag, a literature magazine dedicated to love and diversity. Whitney holds an MA in Communications and Culture from York University, as well as a BA in Creative Writing and English. When she is in writing, you might find her laughing, like now, and with her husband, and napping, knitting, cooking, or petting her dog. And her current book she's promoting, that she will talk about today, is The Weight of Nectar. And I believe it's on a bunch of poems, right?
Yes, it's a book of poems, and that one is available right now, digital format on Amazon.
Okay.
And it's tracing my journey through mental health recovery. And I'm hoping that there will be some other people out there that have struggled with whatever type of mental illness. And my particular one was depression and general anxiety disorder. And I found writing in general very helpful. My therapist was always like, write in your journal. La, la, la.
I know, right?
Yeah. And I really didn't like writing in my journal, but it's actually super helpful. And then I turned some of those ideas into poems. So I hope that there'll be lots of people that it will help.
Oh, for sure. So did you find that by writing, Whitney, that it was more of a flow of poetry that you were writing, or it was a flow of events in your life? Like,
my brain works in a strange way that poems kind of just fall out. I sort of
I get that.
Yeah, I kind of think in poems. So that's, I guess, why I ended up writing in that way. I did also write, journals. And then I was, at the same time, while I was going through recovery, I was writing a novel. So that I'm sure reflects some of my recovery as well. But yeah, the main way I write is poetry. It just plopped out of my brain.
Plops, right?
It just plops. I don't know. I know some people really struggle with poetry, and I'm the opposite. I struggle with writing in prose. So
yeah, see, that's where I struggle too. I'd rather write a poem or a song, or
nice.
And it just falls. Where when it comes to writing, it's like, oh, I really have to put all of this, the sentence structure, right? I struggle with sentence structure because of the mental illness as well. And that's why I really wanted you on Tea Time, because I want to bring huge awareness to mental health, right? I'm an advocate for mental health, and anybody that's out there that would like to share, like, we need voices like yourself out there. So with all of these books that you've written in, which one was the hardest one to write in?
Well, the hardest, the cancer poem anthology, that one, being included in that means the most to me.
Okay.
because my friend and professor Priscilla Uppel, she was an amazing Canadian writer, and she was an amazing, amazing mentor, professor. She helped me through my undergrad. She was my professor for creative writing. And then she helped me with my master's project, all while the master's project, she was dying of cancer.
Oh, wow.
And so she decided to put together this book of cancer related poems to hopefully bridge the gap between doctors and the patients,
Okay.
so that you can relate the experiences from both sides in a different way. Poetry, it's so hard for me to explain what poetry does, but I feel like it somehow captures that like invisible piece of connection between people that we can never quite put our finger on, and how we understand one another, and somehow it like crystallizes it for just a
Okay.
moment.
Yeah.
So being part of that book and having just one poem in there, but it means so much to me because she passed away not long after I was selected to be in the book.
Oh, wow. I'm so sorry.
Well, thank you. Yeah, she was young. She was only 43, and she was one of those people who was super healthy, goes running and all this stuff, and she got synovial carcinoma, I think it was called.
Okay.
So it was like the synovial membrane in her abdomen
Oh,
that had the cancer, I think. I'm not a doctor, so I think that's what
yeah.
it was. And then it metastasized. So she fought hard, but it just, she couldn't win. So I hope that answers your question.
Feel at home. Like I told you before we started the show, this is Miss Liz is just Miss Liz. I am not anything special. I am just a unique lady who wants to make a difference. And you guys are the ones that are making a difference as well, because all of my guests that come on Teatime, I want them to feel like they're at home, where they're coming in and just having a cup of tea with a good old friend. There's no structure. There's no guidelines here. It's you share what you need to share, and I get it out there for you.
Oh, good. Well, so that is the most important thing I've done, I think. But in terms of my own work, the most difficult thing was writing the novel. That took me a couple years, I think, and it's just a fun romance novel. It's not anything too heavy. But I did purposely, so in my master's program, I studied body positivity.
Okay.
And that movement that's going on, which is a lot on, say, Instagram and Facebook. It's very social media.
Oh, is that what the markings on the body to show empowerment?
Yeah, some of them where they write like, fat or ugly, that kind of thing.
Okay.
There are lots of people who are supporting like the change of representation in the media, so that we can see lots of different kinds of bodies. And
I like that.
As a person who doesn't fit into the mold.
So are you part of that movement, Whitney?
I would say yes.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I've like fully gone into being an activist, but it's definitely changed the way I think about media and responsibilities of what the expectations of women are.
Okay.
And we get mad at commercials a lot now. And I'm like yelling at the TV.
Don't do that, right?
Yeah, like we don't need that product. You're just telling us we need that product.
Exactly, right? We're all beautiful the way we are, right? And we all have our uniqueness, and we have our own jiggle, our own jiggle, our own giggle.
We have our own jiggle too.
Yeah, I think so, right? Everybody wiggles a different way, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I tried to take what I had learned in my master's program, which of course I wrote poetry for, because I love writing poetry. So I took a lot of the themes I saw on the social media feeds, and then used those ideas to do my project, which is called #FatWomenAre. And that you can find the poems and what I did with it on my website. If anyone's interested in those. They're pretty cool. They're a little intense. So be warned if you're looking for something chill, that's not the thing to read. But if you're feeling,
don't check it out.
if you're feeling like you want to be pumped up and be an activist, they might be good for that. But what I purposely then took what I learned and applied it to my romance novel by trying to have more diverse characters included. And that's also why I started the online magazine T.R.O.U, which stands for The Rest of Us. So I know when you watch, let's say, TV or you're reading a romance novel, it's usually the woman is tall and blonde and beautiful and la la la. And hey, there are people who look like that, but not everybody looks like that. And everybody falls in love at one point or another, no matter what you look like. So I decided I would create a space for the rest of us who don't fit into the mold to express our love stories. So that's what the magazine is all about. And I don't put any restrictions on the type of love story. I take photos, short stories, essays, memoir, lots of poetry. Tends to be a lot of poetry, but I love to collect everyone's voices and display them for the world to read so that we can learn more about each other. I think that the world is too narrow a lot of the time. And one piece of information that goes along with this is my husband has spina bifida. And so he walks differently than most people. He's very obvious when we go out. And I don't look like everyone. So together we're an interesting couple, I'm sure. So, chubby lady, guy who walks differently, people tend to look at us. And I wanted to talk about our love story and the fact that we're normal people. We're a regular couple. But we also work hard at being a team and like making a love bubble when we go out. It was like weird. It's just the two of us in here.
I love you, girl. Like I'm all about that bubble, right?
Yeah. Well, and it's crazy. Not so much now that we live in Orangeville because he grew up here, so people are used to seeing him. But when we lived in different towns, people would just stand and stare with their mouths open, and I'm talking like grown men. And I just thought, how is it that you have gone through life and never really seen someone who's different?
Exactly, right?
And so I kind of have made it a point that I want to be able to expose more people to people who are different or like just not what you expect from everyone. It's the world is varied and wide and there's so many different kinds of people. And if we only ever just
got to know people.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Just get to know people. You learn so many things from them.
Yeah, don't look at the outside. And like I was telling you before the show, like yesterday we launched Sacred Hearts Rising, right? Sparks of Light. And I shared on mental health, my mental illness. And a lot of people, they look at me and they're like, Liz, oh my God, you have it all together. Like you're good, girl. But they don't see the inside. They don't see all of the darkness, all the pain, all of the second guessing and the negative self-talk and all that, because the chemical imbalance is there and people don't understand that and they don't want to get to understand it. And that's why I want awareness on mental health, because people look at the outside, but they don't look at the inside, because the most incredible, beautiful person might be the ugliest person that you look out at the outside, right? Because you don't want to take the time to get to know that person. You just look at it and say, oh, that's different. Go away. But that person might be the most incredible person out there in the world, Yeah,
that's absolutely true.
The judgment, and the stigma needs to be broken, right? Like mental health doesn't have like one look, there are 1 in 4 people that suffer from mental health illnesses, you know, and I like that you write and that you share that, because most people that suffer from mental health illness, and I've noticed this because I am a writer myself and you're a writer, it's our way of expressing, right?
Yeah.
What people don't want to listen to, we can write on paper. And then buy a book. You're reading our words.
Absolutely.
And you don't see the face, but you're reading our words. You know what I mean? So, and then you're like, wow, this girl, like, or whoever wrote this, wow. But then when you see our face, you're like, what, she wrote that?
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do you get that? Like,
I totally do. It's kind of like when you see the radio announcer that you've been listening to on your morning drive,
right?
And you're like, hey, wait, that's what you look like. It's the same kind of thing. Like, oh, writers come in all different shapes and sizes too. Okay.
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like the diversity. I like that you're bringing awareness to the different shapes and that. And I like that you use the word different, because that's what Miss Liz does. She makes a difference, right? The word different. Everyone needs to look at words differently. You know, you might hear the word broken and you think, oh my God, that's bad. That's sad. But broken is beautiful. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we need to take the words and look at them at a different angle. Our perspectives need to change, you know, and I think that's what I see in what you're doing with your work, is that you're bringing a different look to the way we should be looking at things.
Well, thank you. It's when I got sick, it was a moment where I thought I could hide and I could not share any of this. And I tried to do that for, you know, a good 6 months. I didn't want to admit that I was not feeling
well. And you
even
put a sticker on your camera.
That's right. That's for the creepers. I don't want them.
Creeper alert.
Yeah. And then I finally, the way that my mental illness really manifested was that I got horrible tremors and my heart was constantly racing. And after going through a lot of scary tests, like, oh, maybe you have a blood clot. Let's take you to the hospital right now and give you a CAT scan. You know, or my doctor was trying to reset my heart rate by pushing on my carotid artery in his office. And that was terrifying. I was like, what is going on? We decided that I had really bad anxiety. And that was why my heart rate was going so high all the time and why I had terrible tremors. And that losing is like a physical ability that I always had was very hard. And the tremors affected me to the point where I had to do the cane sometimes. And I had to give up cooking, which I love to do. And I actually went to culinary school in my first career. I was a cook and chef. And so giving that up was hard. And I couldn't talk sometimes. It actually like took away my voice, having the tremors. And so I decided that I would start sharing that with people, because I had never encountered anyone who had the mental illness manifest like that. And I thought there has to be other people who have this, tremors, panic attacks, losing their voice. I can't be the only one. And I know sometimes I tend to, like, if there's a weird symptom for something, I will get the weird, like, on the 4th page of explanation in the medical text, and be like a little side note. That's what I'm going to get. So I guess maybe that was kind of part of it, but people seem to really connect to what I was saying. And I felt like that was important, that all of a sudden I had a place like to use my voice, and it was making a difference to people. And I actually had a couple people reach out to me privately and ask, you know, like, what does it feel like to have anxiety? And should I talk to my doctor about this? And for that to happen, even for one person to realize like, hey, I'm not feeling well, and this person I know is talking about how they don't feel well, I'm going to talk about it too. And I feel really proud of that. And I hope that the book of poetry will act in a similar manner to help people connect to if they need to go heal. And
I believe you do all the artwork, right, Whitney? For all
I did. Yes. So that is an interesting phenomenon that happened while I was recovering from my anxiety. I mean, I still have it. It's not gone, but I can function now much better than I used to.
Well, you know what you have right now, right? It's when we don't have the, and that's what people don't understand about mental health is we don't want the diagnosis, but the diagnosis help us to understand more of why certain things happen to us.
Exactly. Yeah.
We don't want to own these diagnoses. Like we don't want to say, you know what, I'm depression, I'm bipolar, we don't want them, but we want the diagnosis so we understand ourselves better, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And I went to therapy for 2 years, and that cognitive behavioral therapy, like bring on the acronyms, everything has an acronym.
Yeah, right.
But it worked. And it was so helpful. And now I can recognize when I'm struggling and help myself get out of it, instead of before it would just clobber me. But to say about the art, I didn't know I could draw. And I just started drawing to try and calm my tremors in my hands. It was like I needed something fine motor skill to try and calm them down. And I ended up drawing a whole coloring book worth of pictures. I'm still figuring out how to publish that, but I want to do that sometime soon. And I'd like for part of the sales of that to go to fundraising for mental health, like CAMH or something. I'm still working out all the details, but I drew all the coloring book images, and then I moved on and I started painting, and then I started combining painting and drawing, and it was weird. It was like something had unzipped in my brain and just like, here's all this art. And I had always been a creative person, like, because I knit, I cook, I'm crafty. But this was more than that. Like, this was actual art that artists I know were like, oh, you're making art. Like, that's a piece of art, instead of this is just a random thing I made because I don't have any money and I need to give someone a present. Well,
that's a way to do it, right?
Yeah. A lot of people I know have received a lot of knitted items throughout our relationship. But this was different. This was, I decided I would actually try and sell the art. And so far I have successfully sold one piece. I'm very excited about that. That was my New Year's goal. Yeah. And I hope that other people will check it out. But it also was an extension of the mental health recovery, was that I tried to pick, I'm a very colorful person. You can tell I'm wearing a scarf.
Yeah, usually I'm the one with the scarves on, and I'm like, I'm like, I believe in love. That's all I got.
Hey, that's sometimes all you need. I try to pick bright colors and happiness, so that if you are, let's say, stuck in your house, I mean, not right now the way we are, but if you're not feeling well and you've got this beautiful, bright picture, something that cheers you up and maybe helps you get out of bed that day. Because you think, I want to go look at that closer, or maybe I can go outside and see something that looks like that. I hope that will be what the legacy of all the shaky-handed art that I make will be.
Oh, and we have a comment here in studio.
Great.
Seeing your beautiful selves, ladies.
Thank you, Erica.
So, Whitney, we talked a little bit before we got in the studio today, and you said you were from Orangeville, Ontario, and I wasn't sure where that was. So for the viewers that are watching today, could you tell them where Orangeville is? Because it sounds like it's a beautiful place.
It is a beautiful place. It's a Highway 9 and 10 intersection. It's north of Brampton, about, I'd say like 20 minutes, half an hour, depending on where you're coming from.
Okay.
And there's lots of great stuff here. If you like to hike, there's Island Lake that has beautiful, well done trails. There's one thing I'll say about Orangeville. There are trails everywhere, and they look after them, and they're all very nice to walk on. And there's like lots of fancy shops and restaurants, and there's the one shop I really like called Dragonfly, and it's and they sell art from local artists.
Oh, wow.
So that's kind of fun to go in there and look around and absorb the artist energy, you know, from all the pieces that are in there.
I'm like that. Like when I go to an art store where there's artwork, I like get right into it. I'm like, oh, I wonder what they were feeling when they did this. Like, or
Yeah.
I wonder what music they were listening to. Like, because I know a lot of artists, they listen to music when they're painting, right? And I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. Who knows? That'd be interesting if you could like touch that and then like the music come into you and you'd be like, oh wow, that was a weird choice.
I wasn't going there with that one, right?
Or maybe like, wow, that was an awesome choice. I didn't know that song.
Yeah, right. Like there's so many incredible things out there that we don't know about, right? And it's like me meeting you. Like I'm a strong believer that everyone comes to my door for a reason. And I like that you use the word different a lot. Like I said before, I like that. I like people that use the word different and unique because we need to bring more of that awareness as well. You know, there's so much incredible things out there, so many incredible people out there that because they're different or they do things differently, they feel like they can't be seen, they can't be heard. It's like you put a sticker, the creepers. So no creepers allowed.
No creepers. I'm telling you, that is
Whitney
a problem.
needs to be seen. Whitney is an amazing lady and she needs to be seen. And you need to check out her artwork. You need to check out her books. Whitney, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite poem or one of your poems that's coming out in the new book that you could share with everybody?
I can, because I thought you might ask me this.
Oh, so you're not on the spot, are you?
I pulled it up on my phone already. Haha.
Smart girl.
So I have two poems from the Weight of Nectar, and they're kind of they're companion poems. So I'll read those if that's okay. They're both
yes,
short.
For sure. Nope, go ahead. This is your time to shine, girl.
Okay, great. Well, let's crack open.
Can you not see the sun is like shining on this girl today? Like.
Okay, so this is called Left Eye. I'm confused. 1 or 2, 3 or 4, A or B, C or D, which is better? I am confused. I do not see the end goal, or if you ask me to read the chart, it's blurry on the third line down, okay? Plus, my left eye, let's just not talk about it. My father was blind in one eye, but his eyes were still hazel, and I remember them with my eyes open or closed. In my dreams, or when I wonder about how his brain and my brain were alike. My uncle says my dad told him once that we should always keep busy, a family curse. A blood-curdling scream in the night, a bottle, a cigarette, secrets. Close the curtains, will you? Stop looking in this house. It cannot answer you. That's the end of that one. The next poem is called Right Eye. My mother's eyes are changeable, like the weather. A gray, blue, green she passed down to me. Where they come from is shrouded. But I know we come from witches who knew when a storm blew in, it would eventually make the grass grow. So bring the rain, hail, thunder, lightning, wind. I see you coming from across the lake. I watch the sky touch the water in streams of angry droplets. Unafraid, I will look you in the eye. Life is not so easy to kill. A lily grows through the cracks, and it will drink the storm dry, given enough time.
I love the flow. I love the flow of the poems. I don't know why, but I feel like I don't want to get emotional, but poetry speaks to me in a different way. Maybe because I suffer from mental health as well, right? When you get into a poem, you understand what the reader is feeling at that time. You understand that the message is there, the words are there. Don't just read the words and not feel it, read the poem. And if you need to read it 3-4 times, read it over and over again. But I love the way that the structure of your poems are, because a lot of people are like, well, they don't rhyme. That's not a poem. You know what? Poems don't rhyme.
Not always.
No.
And actually not a lot now.
No,
yeah.
They don't. Poems are a way of expressing feelings and it's coming from a poet's heart that they need to release. That's what I believe with poems. Mm-hmm. And I'm a big poem reader. I have like 12 different poem books in my library, right? And I'm all about little quotes and poems and that. Yeah, you caught me off guard. Oh. I should never put you on the spot, right? But yeah, for sure, I will have to grab that book. So that one will be on Amazon, I believe, right?
Yes, yeah. It's the digital is up right now.
Okay.
And I'm trying to make the paperback version on Blurb, and it's giving me trouble. So hopefully it'll be up in a few days.
And all your other ones, where can they find your other work?
So my novel, In Love, that is also on Amazon or Barnes and Noble. Okay. That one is actually through a publisher. So that's through Red Sage. It's on their website as well. And then the poetry is self-published, and that's on Amazon. And I do have a couple short stories on Amazon as well. If you're really feeling like you want to be my fan, I would appreciate it.
She wants to be seen, guys. Like,
yeah,
that sticker is off now. Let's go.
Yeah, so I have a short story on there called Tilt Kettle, and that's based on my life as a chef. And I have a little bit of an erotic story that I have an alter ego named Madame Isa, and that one's called The Divorced. So that's on Amazon as well. Yeah, so I hope there'll be lots of new fans out there.
Oh yeah, for sure, right?
Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, you can find me. I would love to talk to any new people.
Look at that! I take the sticker off of her, and she just goes all out there.
All I ask though is, please don't send me sexy messages. I'm married. I want that. No, thank you.
No creepers, guys. No creepers,
guys. No.
So Whitney, is there anything you would like else to share on Tea Time? Because this is your time, and there's no rush. As you know, we're stuck, right? We're quarantined, so
we have all day.
Exactly, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I just I know. I do have a little business that I run for any people out there who are working on some creative writing or want to start being creative writers. I really love helping bring out the best in people's work. And my business is called The Sweet Assistant. And that is also on Facebook. Everything's on Facebook. I have like a zillion pages on Facebook.
Check out Whitney Sweet. This girl is sweet.
Yeah.
No creepers though.
No creepers. But I would love to have more clients to help them with their work. If there are people out there looking for a mentor type person, My prices are very reasonable. And,
I like how she went low.
So it's I don't want to, nobody likes talking about that.
Don't want to scare you off.
Yeah. But I really, really love to share my enthusiasm for writing and creating and helping people to like tell me more, get that story out, and I need more details, and I promise sorry?
Dig deeper, right?
Yeah, dig deeper. And I promise I'll be nice because I'm a writer too. So I know how it feels when people start looking at your work and being like, "Ooh, I don't know if you should put this period here." Yeah.
Okay, I'm like, fine. You know what? It needs to go there. Just leave it there.
Exactly. So I would love to hear from people if anyone's interested in that. Also, I've started making online writing classes that I can make a custom class right for you and send it to your inbox. We can have one-on-one lessons. I've done this with one client and worked really well, and it was lots of fun, and she had a great time. So if you want to learn how to write poetry, want to learn how to write a short story, I can give you some lessons, and we can have a great time analyzing your work and bringing out the best from what you have. And I also run workshops for healing, doing art and combining it with words so that we can try and move past, let's say, one that I did was about perfectionism and how perfectionism is like the worst for you because it's never going to happen. You're never going to be perfect. And trying to live that way really screws up your mental health. So we were working on eliminating perfectionism from ourselves and accepting the randomness of life through art and words. So when we are all allowed to hang out together again, I might be having more workshops happening. But in the meanwhile, I am open to doing things online and doing private classes or whatever people want to do and want to try out. I am here to help. That's basically what I do with my business. So yeah.
She's a lady that does it all.
I can't stop myself.
Well, Whitney, because you're on Teatime, and I do this with all my guests, right? Do you have a favorite memory of tea, or what's your favorite tea? What does tea mean to you?
Oh, well, I drink tea every day.
Good girl.
We're big tea drinkers around here. Oh gosh, so many good memories. Like my grandma really drank a lot of tea, and I remember going over to her house, and she used to she lived next door, so that was really nice. I could just go over anytime I wanted. And she quit drinking her tea with milk and sugar because she was trying to lose weight, and this started like when she was young woman, and she lived to be 97. So she didn't drink her tea the way she liked it for like the majority of her life. But I didn't know that she had quit putting milk and sugar in it. So I would go over there and when you're little, you start out having milk and sugar in your tea. It's like the starter pack.
Yep.
And then you gradually work up to like maybe just having milk or maybe just having sugar or just having nothing. So she would always say to me, make the tea the way you want it. And then she would like guzzle it down because it was finally the way she really wanted to have her tea.
It was the good tea.
Yeah. And I remember feeling so proud because she really loved the way I made tea. But yeah, I won her over with sugar.
It's that sweet in you.
Yes, exactly it. Yeah. But that's one of my favorite memories. There's so many because we drink so much tea. We're like a big tea family, and whenever we have girls' weekends, my mother, me, my 2 aunts, and my cousin will go away. The kettle's on all the time.
There we go. See, I love this girl. This girl is my girl.
Yes. And because of my anxiety, I drink decaf orange pico. Is my preferred tea.
So
to
you
answer
notice that,
question.
right? Like with the caffeinated and the decaf. Yeah, I've noticed that as well. Like,
Yeah. Well, and I have so many acronyms. I also have IBS, so I'm supposed to avoid caffeine for that too. My doctor's like, no coffee, no, just you have to
I
have
have
the
one
decaf.
coffee a day, and it takes me like 4 hours to drink the thing. My boyfriend looks at me and he says, like, you're still drinking that coffee? And I was like, ugh.
It's iced coffee now.
But I can't drink iced coffee, right? I've tried it at Tim Hortons, and I'm like, oh, what is wrong with this? But he's like, you drink cold coffee all the time. And I'm like, it's not the same.
You know, the secret when you go to Tim Hortons is you should order it with milk instead of cream.
Oh.
Just a little tip.
Oh, I'll have to give that a try. But I don't want to switch over to coffee.
Yeah. And
I'm the tea lady, right?
Milk too.
Oh, look at you go.
That's from back when I could drink coffee. But yeah.
Chocolate milk.
Yeah. So that's like a mocha.
I've never thought of that. You know what I'm going to give it? I'm going to try that this afternoon. I'm going to actually put some.
Just get a little one, though, so you don't get all jacked up.
Like I'm not already, right? Right now, I'm just so exhausted, right? I'm just like, it's over-exhaustion, but it's a good exhaustion. So what I'm going to get you to do after the show is put all of the information. I want that hashtag in there as well, so people can check that out as well.
Mm-hmm.
All the books, all the poems, where they can get your art, all of that good stuff, because you're just a sweet old girl. I want everything in there.
Oh, great. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. And anytime you want to come back on Teatime, the door is there. And if you know anybody in your area or anybody that is a friend of yours anywhere in the world, my door is open to anybody.
Awesome. Well, you know what? I'm going to share.
Not creepers, but
no creepers. No creepers. But I will share your Teatime thing with the people in the Canada Rights group. I don't know if you've ever had anyone there,
and I've never even heard of them.
Oh, so this is the CBC has a Facebook page for their Canada Rights competitions. Okay. And there's a ton of Canadian writers on there who are all like sharing stuff and say, oh, what word would be better in this sentence and whatever. But there's lots of cool people on there who always have great work that they're working on. So I will let them know about you. For sure. Yeah. And my door is open, and I do my tea times in the morning, afternoon, or evening, and I work with everyone's schedule. So anybody out there that is watching, if you know anybody that would like to be on Teatime, I work with anybody. It doesn't matter if you're young, old, or even old. Like I want you on Teatime. I'd love to get my grandma on Teatime, but I'm not sure. I'm going to work on that. Maybe I'll get my aunt or uncle involved and get my grandma on somehow. So. Oh, that would be wonderful. Yeah, my grandma's 94, so I'd love to have her on Teatime. Yeah. Yeah, such good stories too. Yeah. Yes, that's one thing I wish. I was about 16 when my grandma passed away. And so I hadn't really got the idea that she was really cool, you know? And I wish I had that opportunity to get all of her stories and pay attention better, you know? Yeah. I'd love to get her on here and do grandma message, get all the grandkids in trouble. You guys don't call grandma enough. That's great. Grandma message, grandma's thought of the day, or grandma's encouragement of the day. I would love to see that. Yeah. I'll make my grandma a little superstar. Exactly. That sounds like a wonderful idea. There's always ideas popping up, right? It's like the tea. It just flows out. And I think that's why we're easy to connect today, is because we're connecting at a nice level. We're flowing together, right? Because we get it. We understand it. Yeah. I can't stop with the ideas. The creative energy is always going. So yeah, stay creative. Stay creative, because we need more different and we need more uniqueness, right? So we absolutely do. The world is big. Let's all take advantage of it. And let's all join together, right? Just no creepers. Yeah, no creepers. That is a tagline today. No creepers. Can I add that in my hashtags? You can. Hashtag no creepers. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Yeah. So
I really would love to just keep on talking because we're just having a good old time here. Okay, you're drinking tea. What kind of tea are you drinking today?
Oh, you know what? This is a trick. I'm drinking water right now.
Well, look
Tealess
at you go,
tea.
Tealess tea. I like that. Hashtag tealess tea, right?
There you go. But I did actually paint this mug. Wait a minute. Oh, there we go. I painted this mug. So I thought lips was nice to be on here. I don't know why. Something fun.
Kissing the creepers away.
I did have my decaf tea this morning, though, with my breakfast. So I promise you I had some tea today.
Okay, that's good.
How about you? Are you drinking any tea?
I'm drinking lemon tea.
Nice.
Yeah. I've been drinking a lot of lemon and citrus teas lately with everything going on, right? Because they say to keep the immune system. So, and I'm trying to lose weight. I don't know why, but I want to get into that nice little bikini, I guess. Like,
you know what? If you want to check out the body positive thing, you can wear your bikini now.
Oh, well,
nobody cares. Just do it. Be like, I look great. Done.
Yeah, and I'd like to hear more about that as well. And if you know of anybody who is the founder of that, send them my way because I'd love to have them on. I'd love to have, I'm big on awareness and empowering and inspiring people to just be you, you know? Mm-hmm. And I had another guest a couple months back, and she's also a co-author in Spark of Light from Sacred Hearts Rising. That was released yesterday. So if anybody hasn't gotten their copy, get out and get your copy. I'll also put that in the link today. So, and I will be sending a lot of posts. So watch Miss Liz's wall. It's all on there, all the different links for US and Canada. And there's poems and songs in that book because there's a lady that writes songs and poems on all of our chapters. And it was put into this book. So there's poems all over, guys. There's songs all over. There's incredible things. Look for them. And this is a time to get out and get books and read. Yeah,
so much time to expand our minds and who we are as people.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
And get out and get Whitney Sweet's poem book. Like
yes, please. I hope you will. I would love for everyone to read it.
So put all of those links in and I'll get you out there. So we're going to get you on YouTube. We're going to get you on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. I get you all over, girl. So that sticker is off.
I better put on my running shoes.
Get your pen writing there, girl, because you're going places.
Oh, thank you.
And like I said, if you need anything from me at all, my door is there. And I'm just a cup of tea away, so.
Wonderful. I'll guarantee I'll have more books. So I'll let you know.
And if you put anything out there, look, my thing wants to come out, right? It's like, that's it. Enough.
It's time to be done.
If you put anything out, I keep all of my tea times up for a reason. If you guys all check out Miss Liz's events, you'll see that the tea times are still all there because as people are doing things, I'm adding them into their tea times. So if they're putting out new work, new auditions or new things, I have guests from all different flavors and all different blends. So check out those tea times. And if there's something in those tea times that you don't see and you know that person is done, or you know of that guest that was on and you've seen something, send it my way and I will get it in there because I want to create awareness of all of my beautiful guests. And I don't want that tea time closed because once that tea time is closed, then I feel like I'm closing the door on you guys and I don't want that. So as long as Facebook lets me keep those up there, all those tea times are there. So check them all out, check out the guests. And if you know of anybody, or if you yourself would like to be on Tea Time with Miss Liz,
I highly recommend it.
Just come my way, right?
Yeah.
And there's no flow, there's no structure. It's Miss Liz having tea with you and getting to know you as a person. So with that, I'm going to say thank you all for joining in today. Thank you all for the viewers. And if you're doing a replay, let me know. And if you have any questions or anything for Whitney Sweets, let me know and I will send them her way. And if you'd
Yes,
like to know
please.
more about her work or get to know more about her, send me a message and I will get it back to Whitney. I stay in contact with all of you guests before, after,
Great.
and during the show. So you ain't getting rid of me.
I wouldn't want to anyway.
So with that, we're going to make a difference one cup of tea at a time. And today I'm drinking from my beautiful cup here from Steve T. I don't know. Yeah,
Ooh.
Steve T. And it has the Miss Liz tea on there. So
Oh.
I am also a consultant for Steve T. And if you would like to get any tea, check out, the link is on Miss Liz's Tea Parties as well. So there's lots of info. Check that page out. Go back. Check out last month. We got lots of time. You guys are all quarantined. You have a reason to check out.
That's right. Stop watching Netflix. Watch something educational and fun.
Exactly. Some good old laughter, right? We all need to laugh a little bit more. Like, so
That's right.
yeah. So we're gonna say thank you all again, and thank you, Whitney, so much for today. I really, really needed this tea time.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me on. This was great.
So, and anybody else would like to join Miss Liz for tea, just send me a message. My inbox is there. Check out my website, www.misslizsteaparties. I am updating it, so if you don't see the website, don't panic. I am adding all of the incredible books that are a part of my life now. I'm putting everything on my website, so you can check out everything. And I'm going to have an application added onto the website as well. So if anybody would like to do tea times, they can do an application. And the application's simple. All I need from you, if you want to be on Tea Time, is a picture of yourself, a logo or brand, your bio, and your favorite color. And as you can see, Tea Time with Miss Liz, with Whitney Sweet, the poet and writer, is in blue because that is Whitney's favorite color.
That's right. It was hard to choose.
I know, right? So thank you guys all for joining me, Miss Liz, for Tea Time today.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.